Have you ever thought about preserving your garden greenery with glycerine so you can use it later on in the year in your flower arrangements? My name's Julie Davis from Julie Davis Flower Workshop and Flower Start, the online flower arranging classes. Now I've cut some greenery from my garden which I think are going to be really good for preserving. I've got some fleshy sedum, a stem of oak, Fatsia japonica, a stem of laurel and some bay as well. So when you're choosing your greenery, you need to make sure it's quite robust, and I would pick it in the height of the summer when it's absolutely its growing maximum, but make sure that any new growth has hardened off so you don't get any ends which flop over. And what you then need to do is to take a bottle of glycerine. This is a 200ml bottle of glycerine which came from my chemist, the high street chemist, sold next to the cough medicines, and I dilute that with 1 part glycerine and 2 parts of boiling water. So I boiled my kettle a while ago, I poured it into my measuring jug, topped in the glycerine, gave it a swish round, and then I've poured it into a vase or just any container really. You need to make sure it's water resistant though, so it doesn't crack, heat resistance I should say, so it doesn't crack when you add in that really hot boiling water. And then you do a zhuzh around to mix the two together. And then with your stems, as if you were arranging flowers in fresh water, is to recut the stems and put them in water so that they can take up the glycerine in their own time. And the reason I've chosen quite a narrow-necked vase is because you can see I had a pint of liquid in there, and if you have a very wide container, your pint will stretch out to a very thin layer. So you want something that's reasonably tall and slim, so your pint is, got a good depth in there, so your stems of greenery can actually reach down to the bottom of the water. Now over time, your greenery will start to take up the glycerine, and it will change from the natural greens through to browns, sort of pale browns, mahogany browns, and you need to keep an eye on that as it happens. It's quite exciting to watch the greenery change over time. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it mustn't work. It's one of these things that are trial and error, but I would say the key tips are glycerine, 1 part glycerine, 2 parts boiling water. Recut your stems, use the narrow vase so you've got sufficient depth for your plant material to take up the water. Make sure you're cropping your greenery in the height of summer. It's preserving what you've got in abundance in the summer so you can use it during the autumn and winter months. And this will take perhaps up to 2 weeks to preserve. So you need to sort of just keep a watching eye on it and enjoy it changing in colour and texture a little bit. Everything will become slightly more leathery. And then once it's taken up the glycerine, changed colour, I would just take the stems out of the vase, allow them to dry out, take away the moisture, and once you're sure they're really dry, I would then pack them away or use them. But I tend to pack mine away and then bring them out and use again in autumn flower arrangements or for additional detail on my Christmas door wreaths. So I hope you've enjoyed that roundup, and I'll see you another time.